Good morning, everybody, and I'd just like to say thank you very much for getting up a little earlier today to join us for today's webinar on tax planning for the United States. I'd just like to start off by thanking both Kelly and Partners and Royce Law Firm from the United States who've joined us this morning in helping us to prepare this morning's webinar. Won't keep anybody any longer because we'll get into the nitty-gritty of everything. I'm going to just hand over to our two presenters this morning. Our first presenter up is Tony Noons from Kelly Partners Tax Consulting in Sydney in Australia, who's had more than 16 years experience as a tax practitioner. He began his career in tax consulting with Deloitte and continues to provide practical, leading tax advice to clients across a broad spectrum of issues. Our next presenter following Tony, and they're going to do a bit of a tag team today, is going to be Roger from Royce Law Firm, based over in California in the United States. Roger has practiced tax and corporate law since 1984. He provides services to a wide spectrum of clients from newly formed startups to publicly traded multinationals in a broad range of industries. He also practices in the area of angel and venture fund formation. So as you can see today, we've got two great speakers, and without further ado, I'm going to now pass you over to Tony and we'll get started.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Lisa. Also, thank you for Roger for agreeing to coming and presenting. And this is a first in a series of presentations that we're planning to do with the AIX, and of course we would have to go and start with probably the most complicated tax jurisdiction in the world. And we're very fortunate that we've got someone like Roger who will help distill that into something a little bit more understandable. Now, I need to start with the disclaimer because I couldn't possibly know everyone's personal circumstances, and it is important that you do get advice whenever you go offshore, and it is important to actually engage someone like Roger to give you that advice in whichever local jurisdiction that you go to. All right, I'm going to be looking at really on my side is really just giving you some background information in terms of the international tax principles that would be applied when going offshore. In this first section, we're just going to be looking at some of the issues around international tax and in particular tax residency and some of the investment structures that you'd have to look at when you go offshore. Roger would then be giving the specific detail in terms of the United States and highlighting some of the key issues that you need to be taking into account when you enter into that particular jurisdiction. So firstly, and I couldn't stress this enough really, is that whenever you go into a foreign jurisdiction, it is really important to get local legal and tax advice.